this project, I'm using the Karen Big Cakes that is sold exclusively at Michaels or michaels.com. And the color is Cookie Crumble. This pattern is a multiples of a 10 plus 7. I chained 87. This is a very easy repeat pattern. It's a 1-row repeat pattern. So what you're going to do is you're going to count 1, 2, 3 in the third chain from the hook. You're going to do a half double crochet, and I always work in the back of the hook of the chain. So you start with a half double crochet. In the next chain, you're going to do a slip stitch and a half double crochet in the next chain. Slip stitch and half double crochet, and that's basically the pattern. So it's half double crochet, so then you do the slip stitch and half double crochet all the way, and just repeat this pattern all the way across. Okay, so I'm at the end, and I ended with a half double crochet. Now I want to point out that, well, first, this is not my pattern. I didn't design it. I found it on the back of your label. So you have, if you started with a half double crochet, you have to end with a half double crochet. This is an easy pattern. It does take a while to build because it's just the stitch is so small, but you have to follow the pattern, because if you don't, then it will mess up the whole pattern. So if you ended in a single crochet, in a slip stitch here, it means that you missed a chain here. So to continue, you would just chain up 1. So here you ended in a half double crochet. So you're going to start with a slip stitch. Start there. Then in the slip stitch from below, you're going to do a half double crochet. In the half double crochet, you're going to do a slip stitch. Half double crochet in the slip stitch below. Slip stitch in the half double crochet below. And that is the pattern. That's the sequence, what I call it. So it has to be followed exactly, because if not, it will mess up the entire pattern. This is not a forgiving pattern. By that I mean, on most patterns, if you make a mistake, you can probably hide it or fix it somehow. This one, you cannot. If you, for example, if you run into 2 half double crochets together, you have to go back and fix it, because it will mess up the whole pattern. See how it looks? So it has to follow the entire thing. I mean, the pattern has to be followed to the T, because this is what it looks like. So if you're off by 1, it's not going to look even or as it should. It's going to be off. So you have to go and fix the mistake. So you're always going to do, on the top of the half double crochet, you're always going to do a slip stitch. And on the slip stitch, you're going to do a half double crochet. And you should follow that pattern exactly. So that's the only thing about this pattern. It's very easy. You don't have to think about it much. If you do make a mistake, you have to fix it. You can't, I mean, you have to go back and fix it from the previous row. So that's it. So I'm going to finish this side. Then I'll come back and show you what I did with the sleeves. I did my blouse measures about 23 inches long, I think. So whatever length you want, just go ahead. And it is going to take time to do it because it's such a, small stitch. But that's it. That's the pattern. So continue on and I will show you the sleeves. Just a quick note, I guess, I forgot that on every time you finish a row, just chain one and then turn over and then complete. So it's just a chain one on each side. So even though you're going to do a half double crochet, if you ended in a oh God, I keep saying single crochet, it's slip stitch. So here's a slip stitch. So you're going to start on this side on a half double crochet. You just chain one. Actually, the pattern says to chain two, but it didn't turn out that well. I did it, see, it turned out kind of uneven. So I just started to chain one and see, now it's even. See, I don't know if you can see how it's dim and then over here. So I chained one and it looks a little bit, now it's even. Even though, I mean, it's not going to be noticeable, I guess, because you're going to sew it together. I'm thinking about doing a half double crochet border to be able to just sew it, but I'm not sure yet. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what the difference is by chaining two instead of chaining two, you chain one. See, it's nice and straight. And I don't know if I mentioned another tip is don't try to make the stitches too tight, because if you do, you're gonna lose. It's gonna be hard to see your slip stitches right here. See how they're really stuck together. So if you crochet them too tight, they kind of get lost. So just a little bit loose, not loose where it's too loose, and not too tight where it's too tight. I guess just something in the middle. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah, just a quick tip, because I started to crochet and then I was trying, I actually laid them too tight, the stitches, and then I was having trouble seeing these right here, because you can see. I also don't recommend this pattern to be, to use a dark color, because it's kind of hard to see. It's just that this yarn has dark, has dark colors, but then, it has a light color, so it's okay. But if you're going to just use a single color or something, I would recommend light colors so you can see the stitches better. Okay, so once you have reached the length of your blouse, now I counted out, I recommend counting out the rows on the first side, so that way you can have it as reference for the other side to make sure that they're the same size. I counted out the little bumps. I just counted out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did, so based on the pattern, I think it's two rows, like there's a row right here. But anyway, I just found it easier to count out the little bumps. So I counted 52 bumps, which is approximately 23 inches long. You can make it shorter, or you can make it longer, it just depends. But that's my recommendation, just count out the little things, and then once you do the other side, count out the other side. So I went ahead and I did the sleeves, or the straps, or I'm not sure, because it's really not a strap. It's not a long sleeve, but I'll just call it the sleeve strap. And on one side, I did 9 rows. And on the other side, I did like 12 rows. So it's like 4 inches on one side, 5.5 inches on the other. So that way it's not too, you know, when you put it on, it doesn't go really low. The opening here is 5.5 inches. And the way I do it, I just fold it in half and find the middle. I put a stitch marker in the middle, and then I count out, I count the width. I don't recommend this being any wider, because if you do it a lot wider, the sleeve will slip off your shoulders, and I learned that the hard way. So just keep that in mind. I also went ahead and did a half double crochet border all around. This is optional. If you want to leave it, I mean, it just depends on what you like. If you just want to leave it like that, then you can. I just find that the border gives it a little bit of a clean finish, and also it's easier to sew together because you have an actual border. So I'm going to sew these with the right sides together, and I start with the shoulders. So once I finish with the shoulders, then I put it on, and then I determine the I go in and I kind of like pinch where for the arm opening, you just pinch on the side where you would, I don't know how I would say it, you would calculate your arm opening. So I would pinch it, put a stitch marker, and then come back and count how many of these bumps. I guess it's easier from going from here to here. That way you count out the same amount on each side. That way it's even. So the arm opening is going to depend on what fits you. If you want it, you know, high or low, it just depends on what you like. So that's basically it. Again, it takes a little longer to make this one because of the stitching, the pattern. And again, you want to make sure you follow the sequence, because if not, it's going to be very noticeable, and it'll just throw off the whole pattern. So, but other than that, it's really easy. Just sit back and crochet. So that's the pattern. Please email me with any questions. I hope you learned something new today, and thank you for watching.